got here, medic?
Hi doctors, this is Aidan. He is 31 years old and has a very impressive beard. We were called to a concern for welfare today up in the Barrington Tops National Park. On arrival, we found Aidan living in a shack in the middle of the scrub up there. On examination, it appears that Aidan is deaf or completely self-absorbed, and oddly enough, he is presenting similar to the Jones patient that we brought you the other day. Because most of his vital signs are unrecordable, his colour is pale and appears to still be breathing somehow. He had stated to us that we were wrong in bringing him to the hospital, but he was clearly confused about his current condition, and we had a duty of care to transport him here to Overflow. We had not commenced treatment as he is resistant to any help. Not really sure what you could do with this fellow. What would you recommend, Doctor?
What do you think?
You want to go in?
I think we should go in.
Incision tool. Take a look.
This one won't budge. Try the chisel.
This really is a hard one, Doc. What do you think it is?
This condition is known as cardioendopenditis. It's a very sad condition because these victims are totally unaware and resistant to anyone suggesting they even have a problem. Their identity is based on their achievements, their abilities, or their knowledge. The condition is often caused by insecurity or pride, where victims have an acute fear of being seen as weak, think they are always right, are unwilling to listen to the opinions of others, or show any real vulnerability. Even though people around them show love and concern, these victims are unable to receive honest input or correction, and their hearts simply cannot grow. Consequently, they only ever experience shallow relationships.
So what do you do with a heart made of stone?
I'm afraid you can't fix it. Our manual shows us that it has to have a total replacement.
A totally new heart.
Yep, that's right. We have to take this stone heart and replace it with a totally new heart of flesh.
Thanks, Doc.
Since my heart transplant, my life's changed in significant ways. Beforehand, I always had to be right. I'd fight people over it. I'd argue. I wasn't willing to let something go. I couldn't agree to disagree. That in itself leads to a lot of relationships ending, but that wasn't the worst of it. I wasn't willing to participate in other activities with people for fear of how it made me look. I wouldn't engage in even friendly collegial relationships with certain people that I deemed inappropriate or unworthy. Since my heart transplant, everything's changed. There's a real 180. Everything that I did do one way, I now do the complete opposite. I'm much more willing to listen to other people, to hear their ideas and their opinions, to give them validity, to accept they've got a different point of view, to not argue, to not have to be right. I no longer think less of somebody if they disagree with me. I no longer see myself above everybody else. I'd say that pride was probably the thing that was holding me up the most. That was my greatest problem, was how I thought I was seen and how I saw myself. I had a certain standard I needed to hold myself to. That was very important. That's where I took my identity from. If you're the sort of person that feels like you can never do enough, or conversely, if everybody else can't live up to your standards, maybe you're the problem and maybe you need a heart transplant too. If you're the sort of person that can't find deep, meaningful relationships with other people, sort of person who's not willing to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, you're too scared to have people really know you, you've got to put on a front and wear a mask all the time. If you're that sort of person, you should really consider a heart transplant too. Since I've had my heart transplant, I can truly say my life is brilliant now.